So I just wanted to thank everyone for engaging with my first video, talking about mental health and the church. And as I said in my previous video, I'm really focusing on the Black Caribbean Pentecostal Church. And today I just want to talk a little bit about managing expectations and mental health. So when I was experiencing the depression and the anxiety, I was still working tirelessly in the church. And firstly, there's no blame. I can't blame the church for anything because I have to take responsibility for myself also because I didn't speak up. And I think that's one of the first things that we need to do when we are experiencing health challenges and mental health challenges is to speak up. A friend of mine said to me many years ago, no is an answer. And that gave me some kind of liberation because even though I was suffering from depression, even though I was suffering from anxiety, my primary goal was to make everyone else happy. And I didn't like to say no. So if anyone would ask me to do anything, no problem, I'll do it. It didn't matter if it was early in the morning or late at night. I always obliged. And that was damaging to my mental health because it meant that I was not taking time out for myself. It meant that I was not taking the time to address my own situation. It meant that I was not taking the time to just pause and think, actually, can I do that task? So managing expectations is very important. I think that when we are in our mental health challenges, we seldom really think about ourselves. We always think about how it's going to impact someone else. We think about letting people down. We think about being a failure. And those were things that plagued me. At the height of it all, I was busy doing everything for everyone and not really paying attention to what was going on with me. There's no fault with the church because how can you manage something that you are not aware of? How can you manage something that you lack education about? How can you manage something that for generations and generations, in terms of our Caribbean culture, has been swept under the carpet? It would be pull yourself together. There's nothing wrong with you. You need to just pray and put it in the hands of God. And whilst those statements are true, we do need to pray and we do need to put things in the hands of God. But we also need to be practical. We also need to acknowledge that if someone doesn't seem themselves, or if they just seem to be under the weather, or they seem to be lacking in communication, whereas before they would readily communicate. These are some of the signs. Withdrawing yourself, giving up the things that you love and that you are interested in. These are some of the things that we have to look out for as a people, as a culture, and as a church. Then we have the flip side. People who all of a sudden have so much energy. They have a burst and they're rushing to do this and rushing to do that, and out of the 10 things that are available to do in church, they are doing 9 of them. That also could be a sign of depression. We know depression takes many forms. You have low mood, you have manic episodes, mania, and then you have those thoughts where I just don't want to let anyone down. So I really think that it's important for all of us to manage our expectations. What is expected of me as an individual? And what do I expect people to do for me? Or how do I expect people to treat me in my condition? It's so important to speak up because one of my things was, God, all of these spiritual people, and they cannot tell that there's something wrong. And whilst as Christians we believe and we rely on the Holy Spirit to reveal things to us, there are some times where you just have to speak up and you just have to say, I can't cope, I can't manage. Can you get me some help? Or can you signpost me to someone who can help me? There's no shame in admitting that we need help. There's no shame in admitting that actually I'm not coping. There's no shame in admitting I actually was diagnosed with depression and I didn't know how you would handle it as a ministry. There is so much that we can do for each other. Telling our stories is powerful. Some of the elders in our ministries went through terrible times of depression and they fought through it on their own. They fought through it without doctors and without medication. And that's why with the next generation, they tell us, pull yourself together. It's not out of maliciousness. It's just out of their experience. But we know now in the 21st century that we can be helped. We can be helped through medical means. We can be helped through practical means. We can be helped through talking and just being aware of what is going on. So I'm just going to implore you today, manage your expectations. And I'm going to speak directly to church leaders. Don't over-expect from the people. Just remember that every single person that is a part of your ministry is there because they love God primarily, that they respect you as a leader, but everyone there is a volunteer. We volunteer our time, we volunteer our gifts. Yes, we are giving to God, but at the end of the day, we are tangibly here, giving our time to the ministry. And so I would ask every leader to think about the expectations they have of their members. Be generous in giving them time for themselves. Otherwise, we will end up with burnt out leaders, burnt out members of our congregations. So in this Mental Health Awareness Week, be aware of those people who are doing a lot. Be aware of those people who are doing nothing and being quiet. And please, everyone, manage your expectations. Don't allow things to overcrowd you. And don't allow people's expectations to then dictate your life to the point where you neglect yourself. So I'm going to do another video tomorrow, and I'm going to speak about something that I feel is really important in terms of awareness. And that is managing, or how do you manage psychosis? How do you manage psychosis when you are in your state of depression? How do you manage when you are down? How do you manage seeing things that are not there? How do you manage? So I'm going to speak a little bit about that tomorrow again from my own life experience of those things. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope that it's been an encouragement to you. And I hope that it's getting you thinking about how people manage themselves, particularly in the Black Caribbean Pentecostal Church. So thank you again for all of the engagement I had from yesterday's video. I got a lot of people messaging me and all of that, asking for help. So this is real. This is not something that doesn't exist. It is real. And I encourage you, still message me, no problem. Get in contact and I will help if I can, and if I can't, I have people who I can signpost you to. So God bless you, and look out for tomorrow. Bless you.